Welcome to the Web Development Crash Course, designed specifically for beginners by WSUIT Industries. Let's build the web together. Welcome back, guys, to the Web Dev Crash Course by WSUIT Industries. In this course, we're going to cover DOM manipulation, and I've explained what a DOM is already in the other video. So what we're going to do is navigate to our script tag, our script file. Then we have our JavaScript here. We're going to cancel everything. We're going to start. Now, what is DOM manipulation? You know that HTML, everything here is treated as an element. But for the JavaScript sees all these stuff as a tree-like format. So it starts from the body downwards to the tags that are inside the body. So everything is treated as a tree-like structure. So what we're going to do is that we want to select elements on the page. So we have to learn how to select elements from the DOM. So we need to be able to select elements from the DOM. So what we're going to do is that we're going to first of all create a variable by using let. So we're going to say let heading equals to document. Now when we type document, it means we are selecting from the HTML document and we are going to get it by its ID, right? So if you check inside the HTML right here, we have some elements that have an ID of click, as you can see right here. That's what we did in the other video, and we're able to select our elements with the ID of click using the document.getElements by ID, then specifying the name of the click. Now the heading is now representing this this click, so I can say home button. So now home button represents this, so we are selecting anybody who has the click as its ID. So I can change this to home, and I'll change the to home. So now what we have done here is that we have selected it by ID. What we're going to do is that we want to check whether it has actually been selected. So we say console.log home button. Now when we're going to refresh our page, the script has run. So we click on inspect, then go to our console, and you can see that it has displayed our elements right here. As you can see selecting the elements. So we have actually select our element using HTML. So the next thing we want to do is we want to be able to add some other interactivity. So apart from selecting with ID, you can select with class, and also you can select with tag name. So for instance, I can say let body, or let's say let screen equals to document dot query selector, and we say body, and we're going to say console.log. So it's going to print out home button comma screen. So we type this, we should be able to see the home button and the screen here. So it has actually selected the body tag too. So we have selected the body tag, and you can see how it has been represented as the DOM element has been represented. So this is how you can select elements in JavaScript. You use a JavaScript to select it by either a class or ID. So now after doing this, we want to add some little interactivity to some of the elements on the page. So what we're going to try to add interactivity to is the home button that we just created. So we're going to come and see, we're going to change the text content. So this is our home button right here. So we can change the contents of the home button using the innerText keyword. So this is what we're going to do. I want to type home button dot inner text, then we'll say equals to hello world. So you can see that when we change the inner text using this keyword right here, it has actually changed the body, the button to hello world. So this is how JavaScript works. It's very, very dynamic. You can see it has changed to hello world. So I can also change the inner text to what? Click me, click, or click me. So this is how you can change the inner text. So another thing that we are going to learn is how to toggle classes. So for instance, if you want to give this element a class, so we want to give this element right here a class, we have to specify the class in our CSS, then we'll give it a class, The same way you give classes in CSS, then you start the element, we are going to give it a class so that if someone clicks on it, it's going to change the class. So how do we give a class in CSS? So to change the class of this heading, we are going to give it a class. So what we're going to do is that we'll come down here and say home button dot class list dot home button dot class list dot add. So when we type this, basically we are able to add a class to it. So I'm going to give this class called red. So we are going to give our button a class red. So it's giving a class red. So when you can see, when we do console.log home button this time, you should see that it will be giving a new class. So when we check here, we go into DevTools, then you can see that it has been given a class of red right here in our console. So you can see how JavaScript is dynamic. So what we're going to do is go to your CSS and we're going to create a style for the class we just created. So we'll go to our CSS, the last part of our CSS, and type dot red. Then we give it a style. We'll say background color red. Background color red. So when we type this is what is going to happen, and it's going to be a color of white. So you can see that our document has actually changed the button to red because we changed the class. So this is how JavaScript works. So now let's make it more interactive. So we are going to cancel everything we have right here and start to use an event listener. So what is an event listener? An event listener is simply like a block of code that waits for an event to happen before it runs a certain function. So it's basically like a function. So what we're going to do is that we're going to type home button dot add event listener bracket open, and we give it an action. So you can say mouse over, a whole lot of actions are there, but we are going to use the click. So anytime the user clicks on this button, this is what is going to happen. A function should run. We are going to use a function called an arrow function. So this arrow function is just a function that will automatically run. You're not going to call it. So when we write this, we want to change the home button class. So say home button dot class list dot add red. So we're going to change the class to red. So now let's try this code and see whether it works. So we're going to click on our button, then it actually changes the color to red. Let's refresh our page. We click on this and it changes the color to red. So now what we want to do is that when we leave the element, it should change back to its normal distance. So we're going to say home button dot add event listener, click. This time we're going to see, we're going to use mouse out. That means when the mouse has left this home button, it's going to change the color. So it's going to go back to its normal form. We'll say function, our arrow function. Then this time we are now going to specify something. We're going to delete home button dot class list. We're going to delete the class. We'll say remove the class called red. So this time let's try it over again. We're going to click on this and we leave it. Now you can see that the red button has not been applied. So now the next thing we want to do is we have been able to add some interactivity. So we can also say that if the user clicks on the button, it's also going to give us an alert. Let's remove this block of code right down here and say alert, this button has been clicked, right? So we save it, we go back to our page, click on this, it says this button has been clicked. Okay, then you can see the button has changed to red. So another thing we can also do is to change the inner text. So say home button dot inner text, and we're going to say clicked. So this is basically how you can add an event listener. This is how you can manipulate the DOM. When we click on this button has been clicked. Okay, and it should change the content of this. So inner text, you're not going to use a bracket. So you're going to say equals to this, clicked. Let's refresh the page. Click on the button, alert, then that's it, what clicked. So this is how you can add interactivity. Thanks for watching the video. The next video is going to be on creating an interactive form. Please like, share, and subscribe.